I think it's time we talked about this. Hello, I am Ian of Reminiscent Industries, Winter Does Stuff, and many, many other things. And I wanted to use this video to talk because there has been a lot of stuff going on, specifically over on Winter Does Stuff, but also on here too. And I think there might be a bit of confusion regarding that. So I really just want to set some things straight because there is a lot going on. And if I'm going to be perfectly honest, I don't know exactly where to start. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be listing off the many, 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 many things that have been happening while I have been away on my break. And I actually need to talk about that too. Because as it's very clear, and I've made it abundantly clear in the past, this was inevitable that it was not going to be a full break. Something that was made very apparent to me as I was taking my hiatus away from music, especially, was just that I can't stop making things. Every single time I tried to not create music, I would create something else in its stead, which is in itself unhealthy. It was a realization that hit me that I am a fuel, I am a fire that just breeds content. Whether that content be good or not is actually, it's still questionable. But I just realized that I am someone who likes to create things. I create a multitude of things. I am creating books. I am creating music. I am creating reactions. I am creating just things that I can't seem to be able to leave. I can't stop doing it because it's intrinsically built in me over the past 20 years of my life. For as long as I've been alive, I've always been one to be creating things. I've always found inspiration in just the tiniest fucking things, man. And it's wild to think that I've gone from creating little stories about a guy who's walking through a city and trying to make his way through to a grand story about multiverses being destroyed by something that can physically alter your mind into an opposite polar state of what it now is. Do you see why I just can't stop creating things now? Honestly, I think the one thing that is stagnant about me, the one thing that I have kept consistent, is that I have created things. And I want to use this video not just to rant about the things that I've been creating for like 5, 10, fucking 15 minutes even at a time, but I also want to let you guys know that by all technicality, I was never really gone. I was never actually on a break. I was just saying that because my mental health was at a low and I needed to re-figure out. I needed to reconfigure my mental space to be able to actually physically survive in the world. And as you can see, probably from the backdrops from everything to this channel to Winter Does Stuff, things have been changing a lot. I haven't been able to do that whole surviving thing in real life. So I really want to just break down everything that has been happening and what is going to be happening in the future as we progress on all of these channels in the Winter ecosystem going forward. Now, because of editing, I'm not even sure when exactly this video is going to be going out, but I do plan for it to be like beginning of August, end of July-ish. So, effectively, this is very likely going to be talking about things that have happened or that I am thinking of that will happen, that have already happened. So take this video with a grain of salt because things are wacky right now and I have really no idea what I'm doing. So potentially the biggest thing that I want to talk about is the fall, because I have a heart and I want to focus on my passion project. So allow me to do that just for a moment here. So in the fall, we have one big story that has been going on for the past year or so, actually, now entitled The Negativity Saga, which is a series set into multiple different stories entitled Pre-Negative Cognition, Rise with Negativity, and fucking hell, Integral Reconstruction. And these stories are integral to the story of the fall as a whole, the universe of it. You really can't go into the animated series that is being done. I will talk about that in a later video, without watching and listening to these three different projects, because they are absolutely crucial to understanding the basis of what the fall is and what it has to offer. And while a lot of people don't like doing that, fuck you, I want to do what I want to. We are near to the finale of Pre-Negative Cognition number 1. There are going to be 2 entries in this series, and we are very, very close to finishing number 1. I actually have to record just a few more lines of dialogue and then process the video, and I will be putting that video out on August 15th on the Winter Dust Stuff channel and the Fall channel, which is a channel that is for all things the fall, and which you guys should go sub to, because we only have 6 people compared to the 281 over here, and I'm really angry and I don't want it to suck. But nonetheless, that is something that the fall entirely is a project that I have been studying and just going into and putting a lot of my focus into for a long time, and it's something that I've really, really wanted to get out to you guys. So the fact that we are on the verge of finishing one of these projects is huge. It's absolutely massive, and it's something that I could not be prouder about. The Negativity Saga is a project that I've been working tirelessly on since I first started it back in, I want to say, 2020, and we are showing no signs of stopping. And I suppose the second portion of the fall that I'm going to be talking about is the Rise with Negativity series. Chapter 3 is weird, because with Pre-Negative Cognition, that first story is split into 3 acts, 3 different sections of the story. Rise with Negativity has not followed this formula until now, because inside of Chapter 3, there are going to be 3 different videos entitled The Trapped and Detained story. Again, split into 3 acts. This story is going to follow something that I've talked about before over with stuff regarding the fall, but I've never actually gone into, and I want to tell you why I've never gone into it. Because I literally had no fucking idea what I was going to do. See, with Pre-Negative Cognition and the 3 acts that were within that, I knew what I needed to happen for it to be a precursor to Rise with Negativity Chapter 1. I knew what I needed to do with that, but with Trapped and Detained, I have a general, very, very tiny idea of what I need to do and literally nothing else. And that is why, essentially, Trapped and Detained is going to be the most difficult part of the fall to write, because I have decided on effectively everything else about the story. But with this, I have never fully gone into the details, the little nicks, the little nits that I have to pick apart to make this story a proper story. And the fact that I've never done that tells you a lot about just how much I've been dreading making this section, because normally when I procrastinate on something, I don't want to do it, and I really, really don't want to do this. But unfortunately, to serve the overall story of the series, I have to go into this, because it will build up to something much bigger and much better and make the narrative much cleaner as the story progresses forward. And I suppose right now there is no intended for release date for anything involving Chapter 3, including Video 1, which is not any Trapped and Detained portion. This is the portion of the story where I really have to focus on what I'm doing for it to make sense, because this is something that I've wanted to elaborate on, but I never really got the chance to or the motivation to, and so you guys will just have to wait for shit on that. But no need to fear about that, because I am very close to at least finishing Video 1 for Rise Chapter 3. I am very close to finishing it, and I hope for it to be out within the last part of this year. And now I suppose we get to the part that people really do care about, and the part that I also care about, but I don't care about it nearly as much. The music side of things, the thing where I got my started, and the thing that most people will be going to this video to hear about. Throughout the rest of July and August, as I'm recording this, it's near the end of August, we still have stuff going out. There are going to be a lot of things that will be happening that may be a bit weird in terms of scheduling, but I suppose that's always kind of been my thing. So on the day that I'm recording this, I have put out a few things. I have put out one, a cover of Electric Callboy's Every Time We Touch. It's one of my favorite covers that I've probably ever done. It was very fun to do. And the second thing that I have covered is SOS from Heart of an Artist Resurrection, which I do plan to do Why Do We Hold, and the entire Heart of an Artist Resurrection album going forward. But I do want to talk about that later on in this video, because there's a point I need to emphasize first, but we need to talk about everything else before we do that, so I should just shut up and explain that. The next thing that will go out is a full audio remake of Silence from The Dragon's Charge Volume 2, which we are also going to talk about that in just a little bit here, but that cover is another one of my proudest ones, and I really hope you guys enjoy that when it goes out. The two after that are going to be A Real Life from Greek Fire, which is a cover that I very much pride myself on, and the other being My Control from Lone Wolf Music and the Vengar and the Defenders of the Damned album. That project I will actually be taking a little bit of a break on the singles on, but again, I need to explain a bunch of things before I even go forward explaining what I'm doing with that. And that brings us to the fabled day, September 15th. I have told people, many people, that September 15th is going to be possibly the biggest day for any and all of my channels in history that will ever come, and I will tell you right now, that is no exaggeration. Because right now, I am going to break down everything that we have going out that day. I was going to plan this for maybe later on, maybe in September, but I figure I would let you guys know about that right now, because some of the things are subject to change, and I want to put this out now before anything changes so that I can let you know later on before I record it and then schedule it for later, and it just is null and void and pointless. So the first thing that will go out on the 15th at 10 a.m., there will be multiple singles from the band Famous Last Words and a couple artists in there. These are, quote by quote, the miscellaneous time. They are covers that I'm putting out of miscellaneous artists and bands that I cover that I don't regularly focus on, but I also just do really love doing material for, and that I have actually very much enjoyed. Famous Last Words being one of those, but I will focus on them at a later time. And the next thing that will go out, I suppose, is the Lone Wolf Music stuff. I am releasing my full remake of Downfall in Disguise from Lone Wolf Music. I know it is probably going to be fully null and void because Sammy is remaking that album this year, as I'm talking about this. However, I think it would do justice to remake that trilogy again, or at least this one album, before Sammy releases the remakes, because I think this album was where I did arguably the worst out of the Psychotic Memories covers, and I will be doing the other two albums along with potentially this one again with Sammy's new instrumentals that he hopefully will release alongside the remakes. And finally, the big one. The big one. Starting at 12 p.m. on September 15th, Goliath's Throne, my cover album, will be releasing, along with all 14 of its different tracks. I've been talking about Iris stuff for a long time, and I think it is now where I really need to address my feelings on it that I've never addressed properly in a video, but I've addressed in many shorts and I've addressed in live streams. I do not enjoy covering a lot of material from Will Ryan of DA Games and Iris. I just don't. And what I want to make clear is that after I'm doing Goliath's Throne, I will move on to Heart of an Artist Resurrection. And after I'm done with Resurrection, I will cover the song We Stand in Line. And that, I swear to God, if I go back on this, I will end up breaking something. I am ending my slew of Iris covers. I will be stopping this project and never remastering them again. Because I want to make it clear that while I love Will and I love his music, he is an amazing person, he's an amazing guy, I am tired of doing this project. I am tired of going back and just redoing the same old bullshit over and over and over again. I will likely make one-take performances of the albums like I have with Dawn of the Demetrix now, which is coming out relatively soon. I don't really know, but I am going to be done with making material cover-wise from DA Games and Iris. If there is ever a time where I feel like doing it again, I will break something because I am swearing that I'm never doing it again. And I know that this may be a disappointment to some people, but I am genuinely just done with it. I am fed up with having the shadow of the DA Games and Iris material being over my head. I want to expand. I want to branch outward into new things, and I want to do it without that shadow over my head and over the content that I am making. So after Heart of an Artist Resurrection, after that cover album, which will likely come out in 2024, after the winter that Resurrection releases, I will no longer be doing Iris content. But there's still more from here. Because after Goliath's Throne releases, we have the release of The Dragon's Charge Volume 2, an album of Dragon Force covers, yet again, that I have spent painstakingly just trying to create and trying to perfect. And I think overall, The Dragon's Charge Volume 2 is probably the most quality album that I have ever made up to this point. I don't know, man. Dragon's Charge Volume 2 is just quality-wise far and above everything I've ever done, and I am very, very excited for it to release to you and for it to come out. And I will also be teasing one or even potentially two tracks from the Dragon's Charge Volume 3, which releases on Christmas this year. And at least for right now, that's all I have definitively planned. I have also the Council of the Dead album, originally from Famous Last Words, coming out in Halloween, I believe I have that scheduled for. And something that I want to preface is that before I made this video, I made sure that I cleared these release dates. And how I know that these are coming all at this one time is because each and every one of these projects is already done. I am already done with Council of the Dead. I am already done with Dragon's Charge Volume 2. I am done with Goliath's Throne. I am done with The Negative from Famous Last Words. And I am very, very, very nearly done with the Dragon's Charge Volume 3, which releases in December. What a lot of people don't realize is that I am working a lot behind the scenes to try and schedule things very, very far in advance so that I can also work on the things that I need to work on during that time, such as things for the fall or winter does stuff as a whole with reactions and live streams, which the live streams I've actually been doing a lot more lately, and they're really fun. You should go check them out. But overall, I just want to preface with this video that I don't think I'm going to actively go on a hiatus or anything like that unless I really, really need to, because I am a very creative person. I am very passionate about the things I am doing. I am very passionate about everything that I'm creating, and I want to show that by putting out just the most quality based things that people can watch and that people can listen to and that people can eventually read or play. I am making a game based off of the fall. And so far, progress is not going swimmingly well, but I'm learning a lot of things that I've always wanted to learn. And because of these processes, I'm just swimming in creative energy. And I really want to share that journey with you all because creativity in general, writing, recording, singing, making music. I'm also making original music, and I will inform you guys about that when those are done. But for now, I want to just focus on so many different things, and YouTube may not like that. The YouTube algorithm sucks ass, and I really just want to throw it in the trash bin because a lot of the things that I'm most passionate about often get pushed under the rug in place of more popular topics. And that sucks. That just sucks ass. But I just want to create things. And I hope all of you stick with me on the journey that I've been going on for the past few years. And I really, really can't wait to show you guys just what exactly I've been cooking up. Just let me cook on this one. And with that, that's the end of this update video. It's probably a lot longer than I thought it would be, but hey, updates are updates, and I talk how I want to talk. If you like what you saw, leave a like, comment, sub, all of that happy jazz. Tell me what you guys want to see me do next because I'm taking a lot of suggestions. I'm very creative right now. I'm doing just everything all at once, and I don't care about anything stopping me because I will not allow anything to stop me at this point. But that's about it from me. I've been Ian of the Winter Ecosystem. Jesus fucking Christ, what was I trying to say there? I've been Ian of the Winter Ecosystem, and this has been an update video. Peace. Into time.